Do you ever wonder about where all your groceries come from? We're not just talking about the fruit in your fruit basket or the meat in your deep freeze. We all know that they come from farms. That's pretty much a given. Or you already knew that. But don't you ever wonder what happens on these farms? What happens behind these closed doors? Well, the Fairtrade organization worries about that for you. The Fairtrade organization makes sure that the farmers that work so very hard for your succulent venison and plump apples are treated fairly, and they secure a better deal for farmers and workers. So, no nasty people and evil corporates take over and hurt your precious farmers and workers, and ruin your grocery shopping experiences. It also gives these farms a better chance of increasing a gross income for themselves. The Fairtrade standards focus on improving labor and living conditions for farming communities and on promoting a way of farming that doesn't harm either people or the environment. That means no one's treated like a slave, and they get paid fairly. Fairtrade is the world's most trusted ethical certification system ever, since the 1980s. So how will you know that your groceries come from a Fairtrade farm? Well, just look out for our logo on your groceries, and that should put your mind at ease, secure in the knowledge that the guys who produce those great apples are in good hands. Righteous.